Hi, I'm Helmut Licht. Thank you for joining me. In this video, I would like to speak to you about aspects. Most of you astrologers already know about aspects, I'm sure. But when I was studying the 28 courses of the Brotherhood of Light, I learned some things about aspects that I had learned nowhere else. I had not seen this anywhere else. And I would like to share that with you, and I think it will surprise you. It may even amaze you. So here we go. I will now take you through all the aspects and give you short sentences or keywords for each, which we will use later. Here's a blank wheel, 0-degree Aries on the ascendant, 0 Taurus, second house, and so on. And now we will place a planet exactly on the ascendant at 0 Aries. Every sign has 30 degrees. We will now bring in a second planet in blue and place it also exactly on the ascendant where the red planet is located, and that is called a conjunction. A conjunction tends to bring the things ruled by both planets into prominence. The next aspect will be the semisextile, which is 30 degrees away from the red planet in either direction. Therefore, we're going to bring in 2 blue planets and place them on either side of the red planet, 30 degrees removed. The keywords and sentences for the various aspects that I will give you, I will be reading from Course 10 of the Brotherhood of Light series, and this course is called Delineating the Horoscope. And they're all written by C.C. Zane. A semisextile tends to attract conditions offering many small advantages for further growth. The next aspect is the semi-square, which is when the planet is 1.5 signs removed from the other planet, as you can see here. And a semi-square attracts friction with others and irritating circumstances. Next, we have the sextile, which is 60 degrees, and it attracts opportunities. If we increase the distance between the 2 planets to 90 degrees, we get what's called a square. A square attracts obstacles, and I will get into this particular aspect in much more detail later on in the video. We increase the angle to 120 degrees, and we get what's called a trine. A trine tends to attract what is commonly called luck. A 135-degree separation between 2 planets is known as the sesquisquare or sesquiquadrat. Its influence is disruptive and tends to break up an existing condition. An aspect of 150 degrees is called an inconjunct or quincunx and attracts expansive conditions. And when 2 planets are exactly across from each other, 180 degrees apart, that is called an opposition. An opposition tends to force asunder those things in life which are associated with it. And I will devote some very special attention to this aspect a little later in the video. Aspects are strongest when they are at the exact degree. For instance, a semisextile at 30 degrees, a sextile at 60 degrees, a square at 90, a trine at 120, opposition at 180, and so on. But aspects are already felt when they approach the exact degree, and this is called an orb. Let me show you what I mean. Here's our little red planet exactly at 0 Aries 0, and the black area which fades into white is its orb. Now watch what happens when a blue planet approaches this red planet for a conjunction. Here's our blue planet. It is moving toward a conjunction with the red planet. It is almost within orb. Now it's beginning to feel the conjunction, and the aspect is applying. The conjunction is getting stronger. It is now exact. And now the aspect is beginning to separate, which means it's getting weaker. Still weaker. And now it's almost out of orb. And now the aspect is no more. Let's put our red planet in the top of the chart at 0 Capricorn and have the blue planet apply toward a square. There it goes. It's within orb of the square. It's getting closer to the exact position. The aspect is still applying. Now the square is exact. And from that moment on, the aspect will be separating. It's getting weaker. Now it's almost out of orb. And the aspect is no more. This covers the basic aspects, but there are other aspects, like the quintile and the biquintile. And then we also have aspect groupings. For instance, we have 3 planets forming a trine, which is called a grand trine, bringing much good luck to the person. And then we have 3 planets, 2 of them forming an opposition, and each squaring the middle planet. That's called a T-square. And we also have 4 planets in a square, or a cross, each forming a square to another, and also forming 2 oppositions. And this is called the grand cross. And then there is a configuration called the Yod, Y-O-D, when 2 planets form a sextile to each other, and then each of those 2 planets form an inconjunct to the same planet. I have not used a particular aspect, but a fellow astrologer from Baltimore, at least she used to live in Baltimore 35, 40 years ago, by the name of Mary Shea, has done extensive work with this aspect configuration because she has 2 in her natal chart. I believe she even wrote a book about it, and you should go to her website and find out more about it. Really intriguing. All these aspects deal with zodiacal longitude. There's one other aspect called the parallel, which deals with the planet's declination. But I'll let you read up on those, because this is not what this video is about. Astrologers divide aspects basically into 2 categories. Good and easy ones, semisextile, sextile, trine, inconjunct, and bad or hard or difficult ones, semi-square, square, sesqui-square, and opposition. Now, since the good and easy aspects bring nice things, I'm not going to worry about those, and you shouldn't either. I would like to focus on 2 of the hard aspects, which are the square and the opposition. And I would like to now explain to you how the Brotherhood of Light thinks of them. First of all, the Brotherhood of Light thinks of the planets as urges that seek expression. For this video and for what I'm about to show you, I will focus on 3 urges: the Moon, Venus, and Mars. The Moon is the protective motherly urge. The typical picture would be a mother cradling a baby. Men have a protective urge also. It could be that they're protective over their family. It could be their reputation. It could be a friend. Wherever the Moon is located in your chart, this is where you seek to express your protective urge. Venus is the social urge, when you are tired of being alone and you want to relate to someone else, maybe one person, maybe a group. That's Venus, the social urge, trying to find expression. Wherever you have Venus in your chart, This is where you seek expression of your social urge, your urge to relate. Mars is the aggressive urge. That within us that wants us to get up and start going, get moving, is Mars expressing itself as the aggressive urge. Mars rules the muscles, so anything to do with action, activity, get up and go, do something, that's Mars. Wherever you have Mars in your chart, this is where you seek to express your aggressive, get up and go, do things urge. And now let's get to the real purpose of this video. We are not going to start with a complete chart and then analyze it. We are going to start with a blank chart and we're going to build the chart using the information that we have just learned. We will discuss 3 urges of a young lady called Susie, a fictional character. So now let's say Susie is very active physically. She likes it when she just do things on her own, get up and go, maybe jog, maybe take a trip to Washington, whatever. For the sake of this video, we will place Mars into her first house. Susie really loves her dad. She loves being around him. She loves doing things with him, spend time with him, relate to him. I would say that for the sake of this video, we will place Venus into the 10th house of the father. Susie also loves her mother, but there are times when she feels very protective over her mother, almost as if she were the mother and the mother were the child. Where do you think her protective urge, which is the moon, would be located in her chart? I will place it into the 4th house of the mother for the sake of this video. Now let's create a real life situation. Susie gets a call from her girlfriend in New York who is telling her that she has gotten tickets for opening night of a new Broadway show called Something Rotten. And she wants Susie to come up to New York and enjoy the opening night of that show with her. Perfect for Susie's Mars in the first house. Get up, get going, and do something exciting. She gets the call on Tuesday. The show is on Saturday, so she's starting to pack because she wants to drive up on Friday evening and then see that show on Saturday. On Friday, her mother comes down with a severe case of the flu. Now, we have 2 situations here. We have the Broadway show in New York, and we have mom being very sick. The Broadway show in New York fits her Mars first house, get up and do something exciting, but mother being sick totally fits her protective moon in the 4th house, which wants her to take care of mom. So what is she to do? Well, this is called a square, also known as an obstacle compound. It brings 2 situations into your life, each forming an obstacle to the other. And the way you handle a square, you look at the situation very objectively, and Susie says to herself, well, mother is sick. There's nothing I can do. I can't tell her to get sick next week. The Broadway opening night is on Saturday, but the show will be up there for at least 2 or 3 months, maybe more. I'm going to miss opening night. I'll take care of mom, and when she is well, then I will make more plans with my friend in New York to see the show. And this is how you handle a square. You look at it objectively, you ignore one part of the square, take care of the other part, and when that part is taken care of, you devote energy to the first part. Remember, a square is only present in your life when you think about 2 things at the same time. and you try to do both things at the same time. Once you release one end of the square, it doesn't exist anymore. And this is so important because the main function of astrology to me is not looking what's coming up, looking ahead and then let it happen. But to me, astrology is the tool to work on yourself. And when a negative aspect comes in, annul it. Any aspect that you have either natally or by progression will do two things. It will, first of all, make you think about whatever the two planets rule. And then once you think about these two areas of life, you will have an emotion. If it's a good aspect, you will have a positive emotion. If it's a bad aspect, you will have a negative emotion. Not only will you react then with a negative emotion, thinking about these two areas of life, but by thinking and feeling the emotion, you are once again creating another situation that has to do with the same two subjects and will create within you the same emotion. This is an endless cycle, a cycle that has to be broken. Not only broken, but it has to be transformed from a negative into a good cycle. If you are stuck in such a cycle, you only have two choices. You can remain in that same cycle, which will get stronger and stronger, or you can transform it into a good cycle. And I have written a small booklet about this and called it The Force is With You. It's available on Lulu, and it's not very expensive. It's not very long, but it shows you exactly how emotions and thoughts create in your life, and how by transforming negative associations into positive ones, you can literally transform parts, if not all, of your life for the better. This secret that thoughts combined with emotions create has been revealed to us through astrology. Where is the sun when it is located at its most powerful position? That is, when the days are the longest, it is exactly when the sun leaves the sign of Gemini. The key word is I think, and goes into Cancer. That key word is I feel. When we think and feel at the same time, we create. Let's go back to Susie and this time focus on her Venus, the urge to relate, in her 10th house, signifying her father, and the moon, the protective urge, in the 4th house, signifying her mother. And here is a hypothetical scenario. Susie's father comes to her and says, Susie, I was just told by my boss that I have 1 week of vacation left and I had better take it next week. If I don't, I'll lose it. So I thought to myself, great, I'll ask Susie to go camping with me for a week. Susie is delighted because what could be better than to go camping with Dad, have him all to herself for a whole week, relate, bond, and she's just delighted. Well, the day before they're supposed to go on that camping trip, Mother again comes down with a very, very serious case of the flu. Now the situation is slightly different. Dad has to take the vacation during that week or he'll lose it. And Mom is sick. Like I said before, we can't ask her to wait another week and get sick. She's sick now. Now Susie has two choices. Either she goes with Dad and Mom is home by herself sick, which is totally against her natural tendency of protecting her, Or she stays home with mom, takes care of her, and therefore cannot go on the camping trip with dad. And this is what an opposition does. It brings in two situations at the same time that cannot be reconciled. It's like holding on to two horses, each heading in the opposite direction. If you keep holding on, it will tear you apart. You must let go of one. And no matter what choice Susie makes, if she goes with dad, she will be sorry she's not home with mom taking care of her. And if she decides to stay home with mom, she'll be sorry she's not with dad, who is out there camping by himself. But as we learned earlier with the square, it doesn't have to be that way. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you'll put it to practical use. Have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video.